Grace and peace to you all. This is Pastor Pimpong. Today is Friday, the 28th, I believe, or 27th of July, and actually Friday, the 27th of July. By the grace of God, I am walking. I am almost about 500 meters away from entering into Julian. I've walked almost already 6 miles, and by the grace of God, I'm well and I'm enjoying it. Amen. The Lord has been so good. See, you can see the road behind me, and I am feeling so hearty. But I want to share with you today the devotional that I had this morning in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16. Very powerful. Amen. Amen. Yeah, there's this lady. I'll let you see her in a while. And a woman, she's cutting her yard. Can you see her? That's a lady cutting her yard, riding on a mower, cutting her yard. And she was waving at me. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 16. Paul opens up that script that very, very powerfully. But as he wrote down 1 Corinthians, he talks about Stephanas, a family. And he says he extends greetings to the household of Stephanas. And he talks about them. He says they are the first fruits. The first fruits, first fruits of the church in Achaia, meaning that they were the first, apparently, to give their life to Christ there. And he talks about how addicted they were to the work of God. They were addicted to Christ, and they were addicted to the work of God. In fact, if you come to 2 Corinthians chapter 8, Paul talks about the church at Achaia, how it was that they were poor, they didn't have much, and yet they begged Paul to accept their gifts, their offerings, offerings for the poor people in Jerusalem. And he said they first gave of themselves to Jesus Christ and then on to the work of God. That's how it's supposed to be. They were so addicted to Christ and addicted to the work of God. The question that I asked today, today if you look around, there are so many things that we are addicted to. People are addicted to cigarettes, addicted to cocaine, addicted to alcohol, and addicted to coffee. In fact, there are some fine believers, have withdrawals if they don't drink coffee. They begin to have headaches, withdrawals. Some become feverish. They are so addicted to everything. Some are addicted to, the material things of this world. We are so addicted that some of us, we won't be willing to give our life for them, for those things that will end us nowhere. But when it comes to the work, to Jesus Christ, and to the work of God, so many of us are not addicted to. What are the withdrawal symptoms that you have when you find yourself not praying? In fact, I may have to ask, have you, in your yieldedness to Christ, how do you take your prayer life? Because the people who are addicted to Christ are addicted to prayer. And if they don't pray each day, they have withdrawals. And the withdrawals could also be, a void, an emptiness in your life. Even food doesn't taste well in your mouth. Why? Because he who is supposed to be first in your life, you have not attended to him. We have to be addicted to Christ and addicted to his work. How do you feel? What are your withdrawal symptoms when you don't go to church? I'm talking about midweek church service, Friday evening services, prayer meetings. Now, some of us have reduced ourselves. Some of us have just resigned ourselves to just Sunday. That's when we show up, and we have, we don't even think about it. But, we are supposed to. And I believe strongly that you have some withdrawal symptoms. It's just that we ascribe them to something else, And perhaps when we begin to feel bad in our bodies, we resort to taking medication, maybe go back to drink our coffee and whatnot, thinking that will satisfy the void. My prayer today is that if you are not here tomorrow, if there should be another text written, which there is not going to be a text, but at least there should be a memorial. And the memorial should be that you were addicted to Christ and addicted to the work of God. So much so that you cannot afford to miss church service. You cannot afford to miss midweek services. You cannot afford to miss crusade. That is, if your church does that. You cannot afford to miss witnessing to somebody, telling them about Jesus Christ in a single day, or for that matter, a single week. My beloved, the people, Stephanus and his family, were addicted to the work of God. They were addicted to Christ first, and they were addicted to the work of God. How addicted are you to Jesus Christ and to his work? That level of commitment is what the Lord is requiring of you and I. I mean, I can make mention of Epaphroditus, who Paul wrote about. He was also very addicted, so addicted that he was sick to the point of death. He laid his life down for the work of God. Epaphras in the book of Colossians. In fact, Epaphroditus in the book of Philippians and Epaphras in the book of Colossians. The Bible says that he was so addicted to Christ that he committed himself to praying for the saints. Paul wrote about him. Phoebe in the book of Romans, chapter 16. Phoebe was so committed. He was addicted to Christ, so much so she laid her life down for the service of Christ. What are you addicted to? How addicted are you to Christ? And how addicted are you to the work of God? That is the question that I want you and I answer. What is your level of commitment and your level of dedication to Christ and to his work? How addicted are you to Christ? How addicted are you? What are the withdrawal symptoms? What are those things that show to you? That lets you know that, my friend, you are missing something. You are missing something that you have to do in terms of Christ. When you don't get your cocaine, those who are addicted to cocaine, when they don't get cocaine, they have withdrawal symptoms. You find them pulling their skin and all kinds of things that they do. Those who are addicted to alcohol, addicted to cigarettes, they cannot afford not to smoke a pack of cigarettes in a week. How addicted are you to Jesus Christ? Those who are addicted to coffee, they claim they have headaches if they don't drink coffee. Or they can't even work. Can you imagine that? We become slaves to those substances. But we don't want to become slaves to Jesus Christ. We are not addicted to Christ and to his work. My prayer today is that by hearing this word, you begin to examine yourself and find out what is your level of commitment to Christ. That do I really love Christ? Do I really love Christ? Am I willing to lay my life down for him? Go back and read 1 Corinthians chapter 16. Read it. Okay? Read Philippians and about Epaphroditus. Read Colossians about Epaphras. And read Romans chapter 16 about Phoebe. May the Lord bless you and strengthen you and give you the grace to increase your level of commitment to Christ and to his work. Grace and peace to you. This is Pastor Pimpong in Julian, North Carolina, heading towards Liberty. Grace and peace And God bless you. Bye-bye.